Hi everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to All Levels Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. Have your 2 yoga blocks or makeshift blocks and a strap handy and just set it aside as we come to a comfortable seat. So we're beginning a new week and that turns and the fifth yama or ethical principle is Aparigraha, and it's Sanskrit for non-possessiveness, also translated as non-attachment, non-greed, non-grasping. Here's an excerpt from Urban Yoga. It's revealing to know that in our crazy lives, we can escape the rat race and competition that often comes with the workplace to unroll our mats, breathe and move with a group of people, all looking for the same thing we are: steadiness, ease, and health. But the flip side to this is that sometimes our denizen of peace mimics the rat race and the competition, and we unwillingly, controlled by our ego and monkey mind, begin to crave our neighbor's perfectly aligned, graceful revolved triangle pose. Or we yearn for the flawless handstand to jump back to plank. Aparigraha is an invitation to let go of our ego-driven cravings. When we allow ourselves the space for acceptance, compassion, and gratitude on the mat, as we're exploring Aparigraha through the lens of the physical yoga practice today, and the practice facilitates a much deeper unfolding than any arm balance or yoga pose will provide. The author of this site I'm reading from says, "I know that stress and tension in my body is simply information to me from me. This makes me curious about my practice. Where will it take me today? What can I learn? What new space can I discover in myself?" I take a deep breath in, exhale, fold forward, inhale halfway, exhale, fold, and with the help of Aparigraha, non-possessiveness, letting go, lean in to the unknown. We've had to learn so much of letting go of Aparigraha and adapting to the many changes throughout the past year in 2020 with the pandemic, having to let go of our usual way of doing things. But how can we bring that sense, that mentality of being able to let go rather than being forced to let go within our yoga practice as we explore Aparigraha from that angle today? So as you sit here now, take a moment to literally anchor your body into the surface it's sitting on. Plant down through the left and right sides of your pelvis. Allow an uplift of your spine, a broadening in your chest, a lifting to your crown. And then you might even gently wiggle out the shoulders as you let them both soften back and down. And then resting your hands in your lap. You might turn your palms to face down to feel more rootedness, or your palms to face up to feel more a sense of receiving. Whatever it is that you need more of right now, allow your breath to deepen. Taking a few gentle, long sighs through your mouth. As you continue to breathe in to your nose, you decide what's more comfortable for you, whether to exhale to your nose or your mouth, as begin a practice of breathing called box breathing, or in Sanskrit, Samavriti Pranayama. It's a wonderful, simple technique that allows you in moments of anxiety to drop into a sense of grounding. We inhale for a count of 4, hold the breath in for a count of 4, and exhale for a count of 4, and hold the breath out for a count of 4. And that's one cycle. Let's do a few. So continue to sit tall and relax. You may like to close your eyes if that helps you to focus on your breathing. Take a deep breath to clear out. Inhale and exhale it all. Now hold at the bottom of your breath and let's begin inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Take one more cycle on your own. And once you've finished holding the breath, let's ease into Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breath work, where you close the lips, just breathe through the nose if that's feasible for you. Staying your breath equally in and out while softly narrowing the back of your throat so that you can feel your breath gently graze past the back of your throat and listen to your own breath, creating a soft whispering sound. Smooth inhale, balanced exhale. As you continue to listen to the breath, begin to circle one side and forward, to the other side and back, moving very slowly as you breathe. Several more times. Just if your shoulders or your skull want to move as well, organic movement occurs. And then switch directions. Inhaling, exhaling through the nose. This movement is called Sufi rolls. And then from here, let's come back to the center. Come to lie down on your back. You may want to have a strap near you as you're lying down. And as you step your 2 feet on the floor to just begin, bend your right knee into your chest. Bring your right arm inside of your right thigh. Place your right hand to catch hold of your outer right ankle or foot. Think of a happy baby. You adjust your right leg as you bend the right knee to the outside of your right shoulder, lifting the sole of your right foot to face the sky. And then to whatever degree you can, begin to slide your left leg forward on the ground towards straight. Flexing your left foot too. Well, the right foot doesn't need to be flexed. Just the sole facing the sky as you're pulling down your right leg, bending the knee towards the ground. Make sure that the back of your left hip stays on the floor. It's not lifting, so you're not rolling over to your right side. Well, let's take another 3 deep breaths here. Nice. And then rebend your left knee, set your left foot on the ground, turn out your right thigh and cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh like a figure four for thread the needle. Flex your right foot here to stabilize your right knee, and then thread your right hand in between your thighs so that with two hands you catch hold of your left thigh or your left shin. And as you keep your head and shoulders on the ground, begin to bring your left leg closer. Now you could nudge your inner right thigh open here with your right forearm or elbow, keeping your right toes spread and curling back towards the knee. Let's take another 3 deep breaths. And then set your 2 feet on the ground, moving through one bridge pose, the inhale to lift, the exhale to lower, and we're gonna move the arms up and overhead as we inhale too. So first locate your feet, arms by your sides, walk your feet back until you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. Parallel your feet hips width apart. And as you press your feet down, tilt your chin slightly back. Inhale, lift slowly into bridge pose. Arms lifting overhead as you draw the shoulders down your back. And then when you're ready, exhale right away, lower one vertebra at a time, releasing your arms down by your sides. Just that for now. Then bend your left knee into your chest. Bring your left arm inside of your left thigh so that you can catch hold of your outer left ankle or foot, making your left leg half of happy baby pose. Now with your right hand pressing on the top of your right thigh to whatever degree you can without strain, begin to straighten your right leg forward, flexing your right foot. Feel that the back of your right hip is on the ground as much as the left hip is. Deep breath in, filling up your belly, your lungs, all the way to the top of your chest. Listen to the slow whisper of your breath out to your nose. Another 3 breaths here. So basically this is like a lying down version of lizard lunge. You're broadening across your lower back. You're opening your outer left hip and thigh. Now, bending your right knee, set your right foot on the ground, turn out your left leg, and as you flex your left foot, cross your left ankle over your right thigh, like a figure 4. Thread your left hand between your thighs, and with 2 hands, catch hold of your right thigh or shin. Drawing your right leg towards your chest. Relax your head and shoulders on the ground. And now you could nudge your inner left thigh open with your left elbow or forearm here. And let's listen in for 3 more breaths. Setting your 2 feet on the ground, let's prepare for one more moving bridge pose before we hold bridge pose. So again, locate your feet with your arms down by your sides. Have your heels where you could almost touch them with your fingertips. Parallel your feet, hips width apart. As you ground your shoulders, prepare to lift for just one inhale. Inhale, slowly rise, arms lifting overhead, chin tilting back. And as you exhale, carefully lower one vertebra at a time and arms down by your sides. And once you land your pelvis and arms, prepare to lift and hold full-on bridge pose for your count of at least 5 deep breaths. Keeping your feet parallel when you're ready, inhale to lift. Slide your upper arms closer together underneath your back ribs. And as you keep your arms straight, if your hands meet, go ahead and interlace your fingers. Activate the muscles in the backs of your thighs, your hamstrings. By imagining you're dragging your feet towards your glutes without actually moving your feet. Stretch your thighs forward, keep them parallel. Feel the expansion of your lungs, broadening your chest. And when you're ready to use an exhale to slowly lower one vertebra at a time again. Coming into full happy baby pose, bend both knees apart, catch hold of your outer ankles or feet with your elbows inside of your legs. As you splay your feet wide apart, try to keep your feet parallel to each other, your soles facing the sky, and your tailbone pressing down into the ground. Head and shoulders on the ground too. Let's take at least 3 more breaths here. So you're splaying the thighs apart and drawing your knees downward towards the earth. Now from here, draw your bent knees towards your chest and begin to rock and roll forward and back several times. Come on up to sit, catch hold of the backs of your thighs, coming into a modified version of boat pose. Feet are together, chest is lifted, breath is rebalancing. We're gonna do this twice more. So take a deep breath in to rock back, and then exhale, hold in that boat pose again. Now you could hold your legs or you can extend your arms forward. Breathe in, exhale 3, draw the navel in and up, inhale, exhale 2, one more breath here, exhale, last time, catch hold of the backs of your thighs, inhale, rock back towards plow, and then find your boat pose again for 3 breaths. This time, bring your elbows inside of your knees and splay your thighs apart, but keep the inner edges of your feet touching. Let your hands say stop, so you're flexing your wrists. Breathe in, lift your chest, exhale 3. Inhale, spine tight. And then exhale, forward, rock forward, come into a standing forward fold. Separating your feet wider than hips distance. Parallel your feet. Inhale, press the ground ahead over your shins and lift your chest through your arms, look forward. Exhale, fold in. Firm down through your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms to rise all the way up. Catch hold of your left wrist with your right hand, and then exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, rise to center, catch hold of your right wrist with your left hand, and exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, press the ground to your shins, rise halfway up. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms, inhale, rise up. This time, interlace your fingers, flip your palms inside out to your right. Exhale, side bend again. Inhale, center to your left. Exhale, side bend again. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, step left knee back in this wide lizard lunge. So both hands are inside of your right leg. Now, inhale here in your lizard lunge, extend your chest forward. Keep your hands inside of your right leg and begin to straighten the right leg to whatever degree you can, scissoring the hip back as you curl up your right toes and bow. Inhale, re-bend your right knee. Exhale, tuck your back toes, come into a high lunge. We're coming into a half squat. Inhale, turn to your left. So you're gonna rotate your left thigh So your left knee faces the sky. You're turning out the left leg. The left toes are curled up towards the ceiling. Now you could have your hands on blocks here if you need. Try not to buckle in your right knee. Breathe in, holding here for 3 breaths. Exhale. Inhale, flex your left toes up towards the ceiling. Exhale 2. It might help to nudge your inner right thigh with your right elbow. Breathe in. And then exhale, rotate your left leg inward, come back to a high lunge, and step into downward facing dog. Now, first downward dog, you might like to take a few breaths to shift around any way that's comfortable for you. I like to pedal my feet to loosen up my hamstrings and shake my head around to relax the neck. Listen to the quality of your breath here. And feel that your fingers are spread wide, your wrists are shoulders distance apart, your index fingers are both pointing forward, parallel to each other. Your feet are hips width apart, parallel. Then lift your hips high, draw your sitting bones back for 2 more breaths here, steadying your gaze on the ground. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Now as you exhale, turn out your right leg from the hip, bending the knee towards your right wall or the sky. Take another breath and draw your left hip further back. Now as you exhale, scoop your right knee towards your nose, rounding forward into plank pose. Gently set your right foot down just between your hands for warrior 2. Spin your back heel to the ground and align your right heel to the arch of your left foot. Then cartwheel your arms to rise up into warrior 2. So as you're bending your right knee just over your right heel, wrap your right sitting bone beneath your body. Firm the top of your left thigh bone towards your right wall that's behind you. From down through your feet, keep your legs in warrior 2. Flip your right palm to face up and reverse it. Breathing in, lean towards your rear wall and peaceful warrior. Left hand lightly lands on left thigh. Breathing out, lean towards your front wall and side angle pose. So your right forearm lands on your right thigh and your left arm sweeps overhead. Let's try 2 more rounds of that. Inhale, rise up and reverse it. Peaceful warrior. Exhale, reach forward, forearm to the thigh, side angle pose. Last time, inhale, up and back, reverse, peaceful warrior. Exhale towards your front wall in side angle pose. Now look down at your right foot and set your hands to frame it, stepping your left foot to meet your right at the top of your mat. Heel toe your feet apart, wider than hips distance, parallel. Inhale, lift your chest through your arms, gaze forward. Exhale, fold in. Circle your arms to inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Let your palms meet this time, and then exhale your hands together at your heart. Side 2, inhale, raise your arms overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine, look forward. Exhale, step your right knee back into lizard lunge. So we started with this wide stance so that your 2 hands land inside of your left foot here. Inhale in your lizard lunge, drawing your chest forward. Exhale, begin to straighten your left leg into a half split. Curl up your left toes, scissor left hip back and fold. Inhale, return to a lizard lunge, tuck your right toes, lift the knee. Now turn out your right leg and turn to face your right wall as you exhale, coming into a half squat. So both legs are turned out here. Breathe in, flexing the right toes towards the ceiling. Exhale 3, staying a few more breaths. Inhale, you could nudge your inner left thigh with your left elbow. Exhale 2, breath in. Now turning your right thigh inward, come back to a lunge facing the front of your mat and step into downward facing dog. This time hold still right away for 5 deep breaths. Spread your weight from the heels of your palms throughout the knuckles of each hand, throughout your fingertips. Feel that you're pressing down, especially in between your thumb and index fingers. And as you continue to do that, rotate the outer sides of your upper arms towards the ground, broadening across your shoulders. Relax your neck. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. And as you exhale, bend your left knee and turn open your thigh at the hip. Take another breath in, tack your right hip further back. Then exhale, bend your left knee towards your nose, softening the foot between your hands for Warrior Two. Spin your right heel down, align your left heel to the arch of your right foot, and cartwheel your arms to rise up. Now, as you're bending your left knee right on top of your ankle, wrap your left sitting bone underneath your body and firm the top of your right thigh bone behind you towards your left wall. Keep your legs in Warrior Two. Flip your left palm to face up. Inhale, reverse or lean towards your rear wall in Peaceful Warrior. Right hand lightly lands on the right leg. Exhale, rise and reach towards your front wall. Side angle pose, left forearm presses off left thigh, right arm reaches overhead. Twice more, inhale up and back, Peaceful Warrior. Exhale towards your front wall, forearm to thigh, side angle pose. Inhale, Peaceful Warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. Then look down at your left foot, lower your hands to frame it, and step your right foot to meet the left, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. This time your feet are touching. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle your arms to rise all the way up, palms touch. Exhale your hands to meet at your heart for Sun Salutation B, the classical way that we've been practicing. So here we go, bend your knees to touch, sit towards your heels and chair as you breathe in. We're going right into a continuous flow of 2 rounds. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, step into your version of plank for this first one. Gliding forward, exhale through Chaturanga Dandasana. You choose Cobra or Upward Dog as you breathe in. Exhale to Downward Dog. Spin your left heel down, turning out the foot, bend your right knee towards your nose, step your right foot forward inside of your right hand, and inhale, rise up to Warrior One. So both hips are facing forward, both heels are on the ground. Exhale, lower your hands into plank and continue to lower through Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale, Downward Dog, turn out your right foot, dropping the heel. Bend your left knee towards your nose, step the foot inside of left hand. Inhale, rise up to face forward in Warrior One. Exhale through plank pose, Chaturanga, gliding forward and down. Inhale, Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale, Downward Facing Dog. Let's pause here, steadying the gaze, 3 to 5 breaths. Bending your knees, lift your heels and hips high, look beyond your hands. After you exhale, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. With feet touching, inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees to touch. Inhale, sit back into chair pose. Exhale to rise up. One more cycle of Sun Salutation B. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. This time, step or float back through Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue into Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Downward Dog, turn out your left foot, bend your right knee towards your nose. Step the right foot forward, Then inhale, rise up to warrior one. Exhale, lower through chaturanga. Continue into your vinyasa. When you arrive at downward dog, turn out your right foot, bend your left knee towards your nose, step the foot forward. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. Let's meet for a few breaths in downward facing dog. So what does the practice of non-attachment, non-possessiveness, or letting go have to do with your practice here today through these postures? How can you flavor your physical practice with Aparigraha? With bent knees, look forward. On empty breath, walk or float. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Bend your knees, inhale into chair. Now catching your right knee, rise to stand just on your left foot, flex your right foot. With your left hand on your left hip, turn out your right thigh at the hip and try to balance the height of your two hips. Extend your arms towards the sky. And let's take another 3 breaths here, flexing your right foot, rotating your right sitting bone downward towards your inner left heel. Now cross your right ankle, still flexing the right foot over your left thigh like a figure 4, and begin to bend your left knee like you're sitting into chair. Try to evenly draw your sitting bones down and back. Now there's an option to reach for blocks in front of you or the ground if you're feeling pretty open in that right hip. Steadying your gaze just ahead of you on the floor. Let's take 2 more breaths. Press down to your standing foot. Inhale, rise up to stand. Exhale, step the right foot down, arms by your sides in mountain pose. Take a deep breath in, stick out your tongue with lion's breath. Bend your knees, come back to chair pose with feet together, knees together. As you steady your breathing, shift your weight onto your right foot and flex your left foot as you catch your left bent knee in front of you, rising to stand on one leg. Place your right hand on your right hip and turning out your left thigh at the hip, begin to open your left knee to the left. Now think of your left sitting bone rotating downward towards your inner right heel. With steady breaths, raise your arms for 3 more breaths. Can you feel the ground with your right sole and press the ground away so you feel that energy lifting up, enlivening the muscles of your legs, lifting your spine and crown. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh like a figure 4. Continue to flex your left foot and begin to sit into chair. This is actually a preparation pose for flying single pigeon pose. Now, breath by breath, as your sitting bones evenly descend behind you, you might be able to reach to blocks or the floor. Again, no attachment or expectation of where you should be. It's one way I practice that Aparigraha, or try to practice Aparigraha. Just being with your body sensations as they guide you, giving you information. Last breath here. Press down to your standing foot. Inhale, rise up to stand. Exhale, step the left foot next to the right and release your arms. 1 deep breath. Stick out your tongue, lion's breath. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, a gentle back bend as you coil your chest and look up. Exhale, bow forward, hinging from your hips. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway up. This time, step to all fours, hands and knees. So we're gonna do a little miniature push-up with just our hands, meaning the heels of the palms actually. So as you look at your hands, make sure that your wrists are directly under your shoulders, your fingers are spread flat, and you want to keep the base of each finger, the connection to the center of the palm, that area, on the floor the entire time, even the base of the thumbs. And we're just going to lift the heel of your palms both at the same time, not rocking the shoulders forward or back, but keeping the shoulders directly above the wrist the whole time. So it's an inhale to slowly lift the heels of your palms, and an exhale to slowly lower the heels of your palms. All the while you're looking at the floor, foot ahead of your hands. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. And your belly feels like plank pose, meaning it's engaged towards the back. Keep going another 3 cycles of breath. You should start to feel some warmth happening in your forearms. This is a strengthening exercise for your forearms and wrists. And then when you're finished with that, we're gonna give the soles of the feet a stretch because we can. So do a little bull kicking with each foot until you can tuck your toes fully underneath. And then lean back to the amount of weight you can place into the sole stretch. And then we're gonna flicker our fingers like you have water and you're trying to splash someone. So arms overhead, and we're gonna flicker for about 30 seconds here. Relax the shoulders, breathe in, breathe out, keeping your breath calm and steady through your nose. About halfway through, see if you can go a little faster with the flickering, shoulders relax, face relax. You should feel some rigor happening in your forearms here, and your fingers, your hands. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so now let's set the wrists onto the ground, shoulders width apart, pointing your index fingers forward, not towards each other. Spread your thumbs towards each other, wide and flat, all the fingers wide and flat. And now see how much surface area of your palms can really press into the earth. So the feeling is you're bouncing your weight off the floor. You're rebounding it off the floor to help energize your arms and create space within the shoulder joints, rather than a sense of leaning down so much that the shoulders feel congested. You want to feel space in the shoulder joints. And then from here, tuck your toes and come into full plank with legs straight, feet together. Press your heels back and create a solid line of energy from crown of your head, tailbone to heels, lifting the sides of your waist. As you broaden your chest forward, look on the floor just ahead of your hands. Now continue to slide your shoulder blades down your back and then roll onto the outside edge of your right foot, flexing your feet. Stacking your feet or stepping the left foot in front of you like a kickstand if you need more support. Raise your left arm towards the sky, and let's take a few breaths here in side plank or Vashisthasana. So here you want to feel your right hip lift away from the floor through the contraction of your right obliques. You're stacking your left hip directly above the right hip, and you're pressing the ground away as you draw the shoulder blades both down your back. Take another deep breath, spreading wide across your arms. Sweep your left arm overhead and come back to plank pose. Then lower your knees to hands and knees, all fours. Let's spin out the hands to give the inner wrists a stretch. Taking 3 rounds of cat-cow pose as we're here. Inhale, glide your chest through your arms and coil it up. Look towards the sky. Exhale, contract your abdomen and look down to round your back. Smoothening your breath. 2 more on your own. Cat-cow. And when you finish the last round, relax to a neutral spine and parallel your index fingers again. Spread your thumbs wide and flat. Feel energetic rebounding of your weight off the floor. Shoulders have space, not congestion. And neck is long. Shoulder blades are broadening across your upper back. Belly is firming towards the spine. Then straighten both legs. Bring your feet together to touch. Firm your heels back. Feel a strong line of energy from the crown of your head, tailbone to heels. Then roll onto the outside edge of your left foot. Flex your feet here. Now you could add stepping the right foot in front of you like a kickstand for more support, or keep your feet stacked and flex both. Raise your right arm towards the sky. Press the ground away with your left hand and the outside edge of your left foot. So just the knife outer edge of the foot. Lift your left hip away from the floor. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. One more deep breath, lifting. Sweep your top arm overhead. Return to plank pose. Glide forward and lower slowly through Chaturanga. Maybe even pause for an in-breath in Chaturanga. Then come all the way down. Rest your forehead on the ground. Bring your ankles close together. Reach your hands to interlace behind your lower back for one round of bound locust pose. Keep your feet parallel, pointing your toes. And inhale, coil your chest up. Lift your legs straight behind you. Count at least 4 more deep breaths before you let go to rest. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. Broaden your chest forward. Stretch your heels back. And lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. And when you exhale to lower, place your hands alongside your floating ribs. Bend your elbows to hug your ribs. Tuck your toes. Take a breath in, lifting your shoulder heads. Look forward. Exhale, press up to your version of plank pose. Then lift your tailbone back into downward facing dog. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Now bending your knees, look past your hands. At the end of your exhale, walk or float your feet together to touch. Forward folds. Now as you're here, please find your blocks because we're going to do something a little not as usual. Playing with a progression towards an arm balance called Bakasana Pro. So you're going to make a platform out of your blocks, a little stage. Having them together, nice and solid. Or stand on that stage with the feet touching. Just like you're preparing for chair pose, the big toe touching. And then from here, we'll come into chair pose. Sinking the pelvis back, drawing the belly in, but looking on the ground ahead. We'll splay the knees apart as you lift your heels and reach for the ground with your fingertips. Heels are lifted, inner edges of your big toes are touching, and then you'll crawl your hands a foot in front of your toes. Shoulders distance apart. Now we did a lot of building awareness to how you spread your weight through your hands. So find that here, that strong rebounding of weight off the floor through your hands. Shoulders have space. Now from here, as you lift your heels and hips, hollow your belly. Now this might be plenty. You can rock forward as if you're looking at your own reflection in a pond, and then rock back. If you rock forward, see if you can pass your wrists with your shoulders, and then rock back. Or you start to bend your elbows to point behind you, so your arms stay parallel, and you squeeze your knees high onto the outsides of your upper arms, or behind your upper arms. And then you look even forward more, and you start to rock. Coming onto your tiptoes, and then rock back. Rock forward, really slow and controlled, belly lifts, and rock back like a little rocking chair. Maybe you rock back with so much control that you're able to lift more of your toes, pressing down with your knees to lift up with your belly and hips. Gazing ahead, steadying your eyes and your breath. A lot of rooting down to rise up through your hands, through your knees. And then when you're ready, step onto your platform and then step off your platform to come into a forward fold. When you are in a forward fold, please separate your feet hips distance, parallel, and bend your knees loosely. Catch hold of opposite elbows with your hands and just let your spine sway. Maybe softly shake your head and flutter your lips for a few breaths here. And then from here, let's step back into plank or hands and knees, gliding forward to lower onto your belly into Sphinx pose. In Sphinx, slide your elbows about an inch in front of your shoulders, lifting your chest. Take a moment to scoot your knees as close together as they can be. Then cross your left forearm onto the floor in front of your chest. Bending your right knee, backstroke your right arm, and catch hold of the big toe side rather than the pinky toe side of your right ankle or foot. This will help open the front of your right shoulder. Then press your 2 frontal hip bones onto the ground. Keep your knees no wider than hips distance. Bring your right heel slightly to the outside of your right hip and turn your chest completely to face forward, relaxing both shoulders down. Let's take at least 3 more breaths, lengthening your quadricep, opening your right shoulder. And when you're ready, exhale to let your right leg go. Come back to a regular Sphinx with both forearms. Take a deep releasing breath through your mouth. Then cross your right forearm in front of your chest. Bend your left knee and backstroke your left arm to catch the big toe side of left ankle or foot. Have your knees no wider apart than your hips distance. Root both of your frontal hip bones onto the ground. Slowly bring your left heel slightly to the outside of your left hip. Broaden your chest forward and relax both of your shoulders. Let's take at least 3 more breaths. As you exhale, release your left leg straight and lower your forehead onto the floor to prepare for bow, Dhanurasana, in which we'll bend both knees. First, scoot your knees as close together as possible. Then bend both knees and catch hold of your outer feet with both hands. Press your pubic bone down onto your mat as you kick your legs back towards straight while pulling your feet towards your glutes so that the counter forces causes your knees to lift. Have your knees no wider apart than hips width. Coil your chest up and draw your shoulder blades down your back. Take at least 4 more deep breaths, expanding your chest forward. When you decide to let it go, you might like to make a pillow out of your forearms as you turn your head to one side. Pigeon toe your feet. We're going to take the pose one last time, so just take about 3 breaths to rest. All right, scoot your knees as close together as you can. Rest your forehead on the ground. Bend your knees and catch hold of your outer feet. Press pubic bone onto the floor and kick your legs towards straight. While pulling your feet, coil your chest up. Shoulder blades down your back. Make sure you're not cranking your neck. So lengthen the back of your neck by looking slightly down. Relax your face. Notice if there's any gripping, the opposite of Aparigraha. Anywhere where you don't need to be engaging. So a total of at least 5 deep breaths on this round, this last round of Dhanurasana, before you let go to rest. Perhaps turning your head to the opposite side and either holding still with your feet pigeon-toed or windshield wiping your shins together left and right to more actively release your lower back. 3 deep breaths. Let's slide back into child's pose, bringing your feet together at the rear of your mat, knees together or apart. Sit all the way down to your heels, resting your forehead on the ground. Now you may enjoy a lower back stretch by extending your arms actively forward here. You might even enjoy a little neck loosening by resting your brow center on the ground and just shaking your head softly no. Staying in child's pose, have your elbows no wider apart than shoulders distance. Plant your elbows onto the floor, raising your palms so they face each other. Then press your fingertips together, hollow the center of your palms, and trace your thumbs down the back of your head, back of your neck, stretching your triceps and your lats. Now you could go a little deeper if you're feeling the need to by walking your elbow tips further forward and then sinking your chest further down. Feel a sense of wrapping your triceps towards the ground, just like you would in downward dog. Now let's take another 3 breaths here. Then press the ground away with your hands to slowly roll your spine upright to sit. Coming to sit with your left leg straight in front of you. Step your right foot either in front of your right hip, as I'm mirroring you, to set up for a spinal twist. Or you can cross your right foot outside of your left knee. You might even bend your left knee. Backstroke your right hand to the ground behind your pelvis. Raise your left arm up. Press down to your 2 sitting bones and breathe in to sit taller. Your right. Lower your left hand onto your shin or hook your elbow outside of that thigh, continuing to twist. With each in-breath, root down to lift up. And as you exhale, press your belly inward towards your back and continue to rotate your ribcage. Last 2 breaths. As you exhale, unwind your spine, but keep the cross of your legs to enter Gomukhasana. Now, you could have your bottom leg straight as you cross your right thigh deeper over the left thigh to stack your knees. If your pelvis can stay balanced and bend your bottom knee at the same time, you might be able to splay your feet a little wider apart. Then let's practice bend the elbows to come into eagle arms, crossing left elbow over right, hooking your thumbs or wrapping your forearms and palms. Now walk your shoulder blades down your back, lengthening your neck, and align your elbows to the height of your shoulders, gently pressing your forearms forward away from your face. Draw your lift it up towards your heart, sit a bit taller as you breathe in. Extend your heart forward as you exhale, little by little, to bow. Keep your pelvis heavy towards the earth as you extend your heart forward. Last 2 breaths in this hybrid posture of eagle arms and cow face legs. Press to your sitting bones and lead with your chest. Inhale. to slowly rise up. Backstroke your arms apart, straighten both legs, and just shake out your feet, shake out your legs. Setting up for the twist, try to do the version that you did on the first side. You're going to step your left foot in front of the hip or cross it outside of your right knee, or also bend your right knee. Backstroke your left hand behind your pelvis, raise your right arm, press downward to lift upward as you breathe in. Exhale to twist your left, lowering your right hand, or your elbow outside of the thigh. Press into the earth, lift up to your crown as you inhale. Hollow your belly as you exhale to deepen the twist. At the end of this breath, unwind your spine, keep your legs crossed. Though you might choose to straighten the bottom leg as you're hugging the left thigh and closer to the right thigh to stack your knees. But if you keep bones balanced, go ahead and bend your bottom knee too. Splay your feet apart. Cactus bend your elbows apart. This time cross your right elbow over the left. Hook your thumbs or wrap your forearms in palms. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Lift your elbows to the level of your shoulders and gently press your forearms away from your face. Take a deep breath to sit taller. Then exhale, hinge a little bit forward from your hips. Breath by breath, forward fold. Again, this is a hybrid of Garudasana in your arms and Gomukhasana in your legs. Last 2 breaths. Lead with your chest. Inhale to slowly rise. Backstroke your arms apart, landing your hands alongside your hips. Straighten both legs forward to prepare for Paschimottanasana, a forward fold. Now you might want to use a strap around your feet. If you flex your feet, press your big toe down, flare your pinky toes back towards your elbows, and then ground your sitting bones, lift tall through your spine, extend your chest forward as you exhale. Now, if you're not holding a strap, do hold on to something, like the backs of your legs or clasp your big toes. Keep sliding your shoulder blades down your back. Find a little bit of cobra pose in your chest. Let's take 3 last breaths here in Paschimottanasana. Then leading with your chest, inhale to slowly rise. Let's take just less than a minute to find a cooling inversion, meaning a posture in which you're lying down and your legs are lifted higher than your heart, but you feel relaxed. So not headstand, but maybe shoulder stand, or legs up a wall, or elevate your calves onto something like a chair. Happy baby works too. Allowing a moment to encourage blood flow in reverse, increasing your circulation, relaxing your feet and legs, and even stimulating your digestion. Now, if you are in a full shoulder stand, you may want to spend a few breaths in plow, halasana, where you bring the legs overhead. And perhaps interlace the fingers as if you would in bridge. And if you were in a full shoulder stand, you may want to come into fish pose to counterbalance that. Just a few big exhales. Or draw your bent knees into your chest. Maybe rock in different directions or circle your legs. Beginning to wind down towards a comfortable resting pose. Now set your body up for a few minutes to be still, feel supported and completely relaxed in. Feel free to use any of your props like blocks under the backs of your knees for lower back support. And as you arrive in that position to be still in, close your eyes. Perhaps take one last deep, long exhale to your mouth. Practicing Aparigraha by letting go of controlling your breath, letting go of the need or craving to move, and just surrender it to stillness. Now, as we prepare for meditation practice, for those of you staying for the last 5 minutes, you might choose to stay lying down on your back, or you might choose to eventually rise up to sit. So if you would like to sit for meditation, please begin to move your body gently to ease your way up. Finding a restful position where you can be alert at the same time, whether you choose to close your eyes or partially close your eyes, steadying your gaze softly on one object. Continue to breathe naturally, and I'll set the timer now for 5 minutes in meditation. Coming back to your body, back to your breath, back to this physical space. Your palms meet at your heart as you lift your hearts and bow in to greet your inner wisdom. May we continue to practice letting go of expectations, of the ego's cravings, so that we may embrace our own fearlessness or courage to lean into the unknown where all possibilities arise. Let's close with one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.